Java tutorial, and in this video we're going to be learning about parameter passing and return types in methods. So this is going to be like an extension of the introduction to methods episode. So now in this video, what is a parameter and what are return types? So I probably talked about return types a little bit in the first video, introduction to methods, but here I'm going to expand on that concept. So first, a parameter is something or a data or a value which your function or your method needs to perform. So let's go ahead and create a method. So like I said, we want to create a method, public void. Since the return, we're going to create a method whose return type is a void, that is, returns nothing. So let's call it print volume. So now like I said, parameters. So parameters always go inside the brackets after the name of your method. So this function is going to print the volume of a box. And what are the attributes of a box? A box has width, length, and height. So we're going to pass those three attributes as parameters. So int width, comma, int height, comma, and int breadth. Is it breadth? Length. So you pass parameters, and when you have more than one parameter, you separate them with commas, and you must always specify the type of variable, the type of or the data type, exactly the data type of the parameter which you are passing. So now let's go ahead and compute the volume. This volume equals breadth, there's no breadth, length times height multiplied by width. So let's print it out. Plus volume. So now we have to call this method inside our main method. Now one thing is, our main method is a static method. So this is just another extension about something else. Our main method is a static method, and before you can call a method inside a static method, the method which you want to call must also be static. So if I try to call this print volume inside this method now, let's take a look at it. It's going to throw me an error, or two errors probably. First is method cannot be this. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, let's call the method, and we're going to give it arguments. Now arguments and parameters are different things. Parameters are these ones which you have here: int height, int width, and length. Now arguments are the real values which we pass. So like you see here, print volume in class random class cannot be applied to given text. Required int found no argument. So it found no argument. Now we need to give it the arguments. So let's give it width of 20, height of 10, and length of let's say 20. Now I choose another error and says non-static method print volume cannot be referenced from a static context. So that takes us what I was saying. You can't call a non-static method inside a static method. So we'll have to make this our print volume static. So and that's by using static. So I'm going to explain what the static is in later videos also. So now let's go ahead and call this. Let's go ahead and run this code, and I'll explain to you one more time. So we created a print volume method that takes in three parameters: int height, int width, and int length. And we computed the volume. So volume equals length times height times width. That is, this length is going to be this one which we pass as an argument. So right now the length is 20, the height is 10, and the width is 20. So these are it. Computes the volume of the arguments which we pass into our parameters or into our function, and it prints it out, which we have here. So now that's that on parameter passing. Now return types. Since all the methods we making or functions we're always using is void, or maybe sometimes we use int. So return type is the type of data which your method is going to return. Now this void, this method here, returns nothing. What it does is it just performs some action, and that's it. It doesn't return a value. System.out.println is not a value. Int volume, we're just calculating, we're not returning anything. So if you want to make a method that returns something, you need to specify the type of data which that method returns. So this one returns a void. So let's go ahead and make one that returns an int. So public static int instead of void. So let's call this print area, since we're going to print the area of maybe a rectangle. So inside parameters, we need to give it parameters also, since we are going to be printing the area of a rectangle. So int length, comma, int breadth. So now let's compute the area. So int area equals length times breadth, then return area. Now you can see we made an integer called area, which is equal to length, which we are going to pass as an argument, multiplied by breadth, which we're also going to pass as an argument. So it returns this area. Since this area is an int, it can return it. Now if I made this area a double, it's going to give me an error: incompatible types, possible lossy conversion from double to int. So what data type you specify here is what your method or your function must return. So let's change this back to int. Now in calling this, since this method returns a value, we must be able to assign the value which this method returns into a variable. So inside our main method, we can create a new variable called let's call it new area. Now it's going to be equal to whatever this method returns. So we're going to call this method in here, print area, with the arguments which are going to give. So we're going to give it length and breadth. So let's give it 10 and 10. So it's going to return an area of 100. So now this new area is equal to 100 because this method returns an int of 100. So let's go ahead and print this out. System out new maybe a rectangle or a square, anything. This new area. To make these things clearer, you can also do this. Just the area of that is, you can also call a method inside your print statement. So let's say print area, since the method returns something. For example, we can call this one inside print volume. So the area of the rectangle is print area. Let's give it 30, 30. So it's 900. So let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, we get the volume of the box is 4000. The area of the rectangle is 100. This one here, print area, since it's a return type of function, returns an integer, and here also 900. So the same thing. So I think that's going to be it for methods with parameter passing and return types. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.